Well, hi there. This is Vicky, Sjogrenstrouper, living with Sjogren syndrome. And I'm just coming to you from bed because it's that kind of day. I'm sucking on a Luden's cough drop because it helps with salivation, stimulates salivary glands to salivate, and helps my mouth feel moist and not so dry. And it tastes good and it's comforting. Anywho, I just thought I would come on and say hello, partly because I want to encourage other people to keep on keeping on. It is rough to have any kind of chronic illness. The ups and the downs and the ups and the downs and the ups that stay up. It's also rough to have COVID. I was doing pretty good there for a while, and because my cold symptoms were gone, I thought I was over COVID. My spouse tested negative, and I was feeling great, but I've been feeling really rough over the last 3 days. And I'm needing to contact my doctor and rheumatologist. And so I really think it's time to retest again, just to make sure I'm truly over it. It's rough when someone in your family that you live with has COVID because you feel bad for them. You want to take care of them. And when you have a chronic illness like an autoimmune disease, our energy really waxes and wanes, and we get brain fog, and we have a hard time sleeping as it is, and we have all this ball of wax of symptoms. And there are days when we can't hardly take care of ourselves, let alone take care of somebody else, but we still want to. We still want to be that nurturer and caring, loving partner or mom, or dad, or wife, or husband. Men get Sjogren's too. They get autoimmune diseases like lupus and MS and scleroderma and RA, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm sorry if I didn't mention all of them, because they all suck. All diseases suck. They do. But the other reason I wanted to come on is to just share about what it's been like to have COVID-19, Omicron, on top of having a chronic illness. My specific one being an autoimmune disease called Sjogren syndrome. SLE/Sjogren syndrome is how it's written for diagnosis. Because it was explained to me by my rheumatologist that it's done that way because there's so many overlapping symptoms. Now, I haven't been exactly diagnosed with lupus, but I have been told that I have overlapping symptoms. And I'm already on medication such as daily prednisone, a low dose, and methotrexate injections once a week. I used to take Plaquenil as well until it began to affect my eyes several months ago. So the specific circumstances are that first my spouse became infected, and it was pretty obvious right away. He came home pretty sick. He had a bad sore throat. He was very malaised, didn't feel good. I'm not sure if he had a symptom. I'm not sure if he had a fever because he took Tylenol. And when we did check, it was normal. But of course, that could have been relieved by the Tylenol. We're just not sure. The next day, we took him to a walk-in clinic a Saturday, and he tested positive. So they prescribed for him the medication, the antiviral, which is a combination of ritonavir and something else. So he started that night right after we picked up the medication, or I did. And that was, I think it was August 28th. It was a Saturday. Then September 1st, I woke up with a sore throat. Just an itty bitty itch back there. Itty bitty itch. And I thought, I don't usually have that. Maybe I should test. So I did. And there really wasn't a line there. Not that anybody else could see. I thought I saw a hint, a very teeny hint of a line per shadow maybe, but nobody else saw a line. So I just figured I was just seeing what maybe I wanted to see, because I thought if it was positive, then I could know what was going on and jump on it, get taking care of myself. I didn't really go to the doctor. I just contacted my rheumatologist, and they put in a prescription for the antiviral and said I should take it prophylactically if I wanted to. So I decided to. So I decided to test and tested positive. And between that positive diagnosis and not feeling so great, I decided to reach out and ask for some help. And a really, really sweet friend picked the medication up for me and dropped it off to my mailbox. So shout out to sweet, compassionate individuals. Sweet compassion makes life so much better. The medication left a really bad taste in my mouth just while I was sleeping. Once I woke up and I could swallow fluids and eat food, it wasn't so bad. And for the most part, I never did develop a fever. I tested fairly often. I had the energy that I needed to do what I needed to do, but some of that could have been adrenaline. Because this was something we had dreaded since 2019 and had been able to avoid. And now suddenly it was upon us. And I was coughing. I still had the energy, though, to do a few things around the house that I had really been wanting to do and try to film a couple videos. The next several days continued as more of the same. My husband started to get better, and little by little bit, I started to get worse. I continued to take my medication twice a day, in the morning and at bedtime. Finally, my cold symptoms seemed to have cleared up, yet my headache never did go away. And this is just this bad, awful sinus headache, the kind that makes you think something's going on that you're allergic to, but yet you can't. No matter how hard you seek out and find, and clean your house up, nothing seems to take care of it. Not the air purifier, not dusting and washing down the floors and making sure there's no moldy stuff in the laundry or in the refrigerator or the cupboards. Nothing seemed to make it go away. And I still have it. And my fatigue continued to get more and more severe, far more over my baseline for Sjogren's. So finally, my husband, we had tested again, and he tested negative. And that was on the 15th of September, but I again tested positive. So knowing that he had actually tested positive 5 days before I did, 5 to 6 days before I did, we figured it would be 5 or 6 days more. So here I am going to test again because I really need to in order to communicate with my doctor. It is only the 18th. So it could be that I am still positive. I need to test and find out. If I test negative, that would be a very good thing because I could restart my methotrexate this week. On Tuesday is the day I usually always take it. I'm nervous to take methotrexate while still testing positive for COVID because it is a immune suppressant. It's also low dose chemo, and it also makes me feel a little cruddy for a couple days. And that would be fatigue and feeling cruddy and having a headache and nausea on top of what I'm already having right now, which is being in bed because I don't feel good and I feel lethargic and very fatigued and have like jello arms and lots of brain fog. Also, I need for my rheumatologist to give me the okay to say, yes, go ahead and restart that med. But I need to give them more information to go on, like whether or not I'm positive or negative. So I'm getting ready to test. I'm going to do that now. So if medical stuff makes you squeamish or you really don't want to see that, you might want to wind it a little bit because I'm going to go ahead and do the whole test. Okay, here's the test. I just opened it and it's got the vial in the front. These ones, the diluent has to be added in. They're not completely pre-filled. So we'll do that. There's 2 tests per box. And there's directions. So everything that I need is right here. We've got the tester doohickey thingy that you'd put the drips on. We've got the swab that goes in. Okay, I had to put the diluent in. There it is at the bottom. It came in this little plastic thing. I did that off camera because I didn't want to spill it. So now I'm going to open this packet because once I do the swab, swish it in here and get this ready to put the drops on, it's all going to go really fast. So here's the test doohickey thingy, the test piece. And here's the swab. Here's the diluent. So I'm trying my best to avoid touching and breathing on anything, just for the sake of keeping it real and unfettered. Okay, so here's the part where you might want to look away if you don't like this kind of stuff. Okay, the reason I'm doing this on camera is to show you what I'm doing, the technique, all that stuff. So I put my fingers right about there so I know that I've gone far enough up. It's about an inch. Okay, I'm just inserting it in the back part of my nair this way and then going up. Moved it up this way into my nair, into my nasal passages, and I'm just going round and round and round, and then into my nair. Now on the other side. One more time. Round, round, and round. And round. All right. Sorry. All right. I'm going to take off the lid and insert the cotton swab. I'm just going to gently swirl, just like that, the swab around into the diluent. Just give it time. Let it sit for a minute or so just to give whatever might be on the cotton swab time to soak off into the diluent. You know, the fluid in there. Here we go. This is actually what the directions say to do. So I'm sorry if it seems like I didn't pay attention to the directions. It's just I've read them so many times. So, all right, I'm pretty sure that's enough. So now what I'm going to do is squeeze the center part of this vial like that. But I'm going to pull the tip of the cotton swab up so that it's between my two fingers. And I'm going to attempt to squeeze as much of the fluid out as I can and show you that. And show you what I'm doing. Squeezing. Oh, I have a hard time because my knuckles don't like to, they get stuck. My finger joints get stuck. All right, now I'm going to put the top back on. Okay, now's the time when we drop 3 little drops onto this little spot right here. So let's do that now. Here we go. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we have 1 drop to go. 3. It's kind of pooled on there, so I'm thinking maybe I did too much. Put the cap back on here so it doesn't leak out. This is what we've got so far. This is test and this is control. So if there's going to be a line, it'll show, if I'm going to be positive, the line will show up right here. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, could show up right away, could show up in 10 to 15 minutes. Like I said, for me, the happiest, best case scenario would be to test negative. That's what I'm hoping for. And the fact that I feel so cruddy could be related to lingering symptoms. I expect fully that see what we got there? That means I'm still positive. Maybe in another 3 days. Today's the 18th. This means I'm still positive. Clearly positive. And that's a bummer. But it also does show me exactly why I'm feeling cruddy. And it gives my provider enough information to make a good decision about whether it's appropriate for me to take a little higher dose of prednisone or go back to my methotrexate doses. It's usually recommended that if you come down sick, whether it's the flu or a cold or an infection, that you hold your methotrexate or low-dose chemo until you're better. So for me, it was, well, I know I should hold it if I'm infected with COVID, so I just did. I do appreciate the fact that there are so many individuals out there who struggle, just like I do, on an everyday basis to push and push and push through and try to live life normal, even though there's absolutely nothing normal about feeling sick every single day. being in pain every single day. We put on this joy, this happy face, despite what we're going through, because we don't want it to win. Ultimately, I want joy to win. And I do feel joy. I do. Sjogren Syndrome has taught me how to value every little drop of every ounce of everything that I can, no matter how small it is. And so I'm able to experience joy, even though I don't really feel that good. There is joy in the suffering, not because of the suffering, but through the suffering. Lots of moments of joy do come, but it's not easy to put on a happy face and focus on all the positive things you can think of and every positive thing in every situation. So I appreciate all of you who are traveling that path right along with me. I'll keep you all posted. The minute I'm negative, I will let you know with balloons and celebrations on here. Those of you who are lifting me in prayer, I thank you so very much. And I want you to know that I too am lifting all of you in prayer. And I'm reading your comments and loving them and lifting you in prayer. So drop me a comment and let me know how you are, because I want to know how you're doing, really how you are, and what I can pray about for you for this coming week. Are you facing a diagnosis? Are you in a really bad flare? Are you in a situation where every test they do doesn't bring you results and you still don't know what's going on, and in the meantime are suffering? Please drop me a line and let me know. I want to lift you in prayer, because you count, you matter, and you're important, and your symptoms and what you're going through matters. It's real. Love to you all.